Good evening. Welcome to Sewing to Bourbon. This is Charlie.
And that's Glenn.
Charlie, why don't you tell them what we're doing tonight?
Tonight we have a wonderful offering from our friends at Peerless, their new limited edition Toasted.
This is a brand new release.
We're so excited.
Okay, so Kentucky Peerless, brand new release. It was just released on March 16th. A couple days ago, I was there, stood in line to get the bottle. This is 111 proof. Mm-hmm. We love that, don't we? Mm-hmm. $125. Don't know the mash bill, but we love Peerless, right?
We do love Peerless.
We've done several episodes.
We have. Peerless is one of those where, and I know that if you're watching this and you hear $125, a lot of people are like, nope, next episode. Peerless has truly developed a reputation to where you know that it's worth it. And to the people that have tried it and dabbled in their offerings, especially their limited offerings, get pretty excited about the opportunity to have one of these.
Yeah, and they've kind of stepped out as the years have grown on, and they've got some more aged product. They're kind of branching out a little bit, right? So this is their first toasted release. Toasted barrel whiskeys, they've been around since 2014, I think.
So hot right now.
Michter's was the first. They were the pioneer with toasted barrels. We're not going to spend too much time on that, but basically, every charred barrel is basically toasted as well. But when you see a toasted product, basically what they've done is they've put it in, once it's aged in its charred barrel, they've moved it over into a toasted barrel that hasn't been charged. It's just a really light toast, right?
So technically this is a double oaked, if we want to get technical.
Yeah.
And toasted is also, when they say a barrel is toasted, they heat it up at a slower rate than you do on a char. So if you've watched any cooperage videos and you see that big flame shoot out the barrel and it chars the inside, toasted does that. It just slower and less intense, heats the wood more thoroughly. You get more flavors out of those wood. All very scientific.
As a matter of fact, if you want to see that process, check out our 117 series High Angel Share episode. Now we weren't at Peerless, but I took a little video of the difference between toasted and charred, and blah, blah, blah.
All very informative.
Let's get into this, Charlie.
No age statement.
No age statement. So it's at least 4 years.
It is strictly sweet mash, barrel proof, and this is all their distillate. And we are very excited.
Absolutely.
A ridiculous red color.
Super dark red. Just a beautiful, beautiful color.
It has like a man, that's awesome. I'm trying to give you all a glimpse of that color. Just a beautiful kind of dark. I tell you, for 111 proof, it doesn't like moving around the glass.
No, it sure doesn't.
Very viscous. Puts a nice little ring around the top.
It's kind of lazy, isn't it?
It is lazy.
All right. So this is...
If there was a candle that smelled like this, you'd buy it. I don't care who you are and what you would buy a candle that smelled like this.
For 111 proof, this has 0 ethanol. It's
0. It's like smelling like vanilla, cherry. There is definitely some like pitted fruit, like some cherry fruit.
Even a little bit of like a toasted marshmallow.
Yeah,
maybe.
I get and like
just a beautiful nose.
Like all the sweetness, like powdered sugar. Ooh, all right, super excited. And I will say this. This is why people stand in line and pay $125 for this, because this is the experience.
When I used to say I'd never stand in line for bourbon, I stood in line the other day. I'll throw in a little footage here so you can see there was quite a line outside the door.
If you know, you know. Cheers.
Cheers. Maybe I'm biased because I've really come to love everything Peerless, but that is fantastic.
I don't know where to start. It's like a double oaked and
It's in between their regular bourbon and their double oak.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in between.
it is the flavors just, and I apologize. We're not very good at this. Bear with us. The cascading flavor is unbelievable because it gives you sweet and spicy and then back to sweet and then oaky and then peppery and then vanilla
And everything in
and
between.
everything in between for the entirety of the time. And it is so good. It is one of those bottles that it's hard not to be romantic about bourbon. That shouldn't exist.
And it's got just enough Kentucky hug to it. It's
Well, I feel like all the proof is almost on the palate. When you're drinking it, you're just like, more of that, please. Like the heat and the spices is in your palate. I don't get much of a Kentucky hug at all. It is a crushable 100.
when I say
proof.
Kentucky hug, that's not a derogatory statement. It warms you. You know you're drinking it. It's got just enough peppery spiciness on it, blended well with the sweetness, the vanilla, the little bit of chocolate. And it hits your mouth with like a certain weight.
It has a great mouthfeel. I wouldn't call it syrupy.
No.
But it's not light either. It's just that perfect swirl of everything that you want and in your face like if you want a bourbon experience. And I will say this too. I could see this being a polarizing bottle because if you're not used to
For people who hate bourbon.
That's a good one. No,
You might not like
I'm
this.
serious. This I could see this being one that people try and they're like, I've never had anything like that, and it eliciting a response. That's unbelievable.
I don't know.
That's unbelievable.
I'm struggling to come up with a bunch of fancy descriptors, but I just really like it. That's a great bottle, perfectly proofed at 111, I think. Which all of Peerless, everything they put out is barrel proof.
No water added, non-chill filtered.
Sweet mash.
And maybe one of the most beautiful bottles in existence. I mean, it's just a gorgeous bottle.
And the more I sip on it, the more chocolatey and just deep and rich it becomes.
The finish on this is just intense. I mean, it is a true story. Story time, Charlie. This is our third or fourth episode we filmed this evening. And when we were discussing, the order of what we wanted to film tonight, we had filmed our first episode, and I said, "Do you want to do the Peerless?" And Glenn said, "It's kind of a palate destroyer."
Yeah.
This is a palate destroyer. This is an end the night drink, not a start the night drink. Because if you
100%.
start the night with this, whatever you drink after that is just going to be lost. Because this is just weight and oak and just unbelievable pour.
It is. Do we want to rate it?
You go first.
Okay. Charlie, this is March, what is today? March 18th? So we're 3 months into the year. I don't think I've rated anything over a 7.25 or a 7.5 yet this year. This is going to be my first 8 over 8. It's 8.5. That's an 8.5.
That's a strong score. 8.5.
8.5.
I will give this a 8.75. 7.5. And if it was, the only reason I'm not giving it a 9 is because it is $125. But it would not be a stretch to just throw this as a 9. This is the best thing that I have drank so far this year.
I will agree.
The best thing.
And do we want to pull this other bottle out, Charlie? Because this wasn't the only release the other day. So also released was an 8-year single barrel bourbon and an 8-year single barrel rye, which we didn't bring the rye tonight, but we do have the bourbon. So let's do it. You think? Should we do it or should we wait? Should we give this its own episode?
I think we should. Gosh. So listen, I have been so excited about this bottle.
We can save the rye for its own episode.
I'm just making Glenn edit these pauses out. What do you think? Should we make them stick around and watch another episode for part 2 to watch? Do you think that this 8-year single barrel
after drinking the first one, I think this one deserves its own episode.
You know what? I do too. Yeah. I think an 8-year, and if I don't know if you folks can see that is dark.
Show them Corky.
And Corky signed it for us.
Yeah, Corky stuck around, signed a bunch of bottles.
Thank you, Corky.
Yep.
You know what? Stay tuned for part 2. That's
Absolutely.
what we'll tell you.
Like and subscribe to the channel here. Follow us on socials. Whiskey Realtor on TikTok. So Into Bourbon on Instagram.
Keep your wallets loose.
And your bungholes tight.
Peerless.
Peace out. That was terrible.
Don't blame me, but Corky.
That's a loose-ass bunghole there, isn't it? Somebody's not keeping their bungholes tight. I mean, technically, that's not a bunghole, but
I mean, either way,
it would not be tight.
You should just keep your holes tight. I think it's as a general rule. Oh, that smells like biscuits. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
3, 2, 1. What we're going to do?
We're going to open a bottle of the super limited release Peerless Toasted. No? Didn't like that? I made a funny face. If you want, I was fine with it. You did. You got all quiet. Usually you make a noise.
Just give me more options.
Okay. Action.
Well, good evening. Nope. Taking the glasses off.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Welcome to my cellar.
Welcome to my basement. Just want to take some pictures of you.
Puff Daddy's down here. He wants to talk to you.
Gross. Want to get jiggy with it? Action. Lawsuit.
Good evening. Welcome back to So Into Bourbon. I'm Glenn. This is Charlie. Charlie, do you want to tell them what we have on the bar tonight?
Tonight on the bar, we have beer. We needed some good B-roll. Ready? Let's mix it up. You okay?
Yeah.
Let's mix it up. Introduce. Let's do this. When you be like, "Good evening, welcome to So Into Bourbon." That's Charlie, and that's Glenn. You say my name, I'll say your name, and then you can take it from there. Improv. It's the only time you get to improv.
3,
You still fuck it up.
2, 1.